Hey everybody, this is video 7, unit 1, formative 2, literal equations. Alright, when we talk about a literal equation, basically all we're doing is looking at a formula and going to try and make it equal to some letter. So the first one we have here is actually a formula to find distance. So D stands for distance, R stands for rate, T stands for time. So when we look at literal equations, what we're going to want to do is solve it for either the D, the R, or the T. Okay, and so when we do this, let's say that we wanted to solve for R in this case. Okay, so what we'd want to do is we'd look at the R as being multiplied by the T. So to undo multiplication, we divide. So we're going to divide by T to cancel that out. Okay, well, we'd also have to divide by T on this side. So therefore, R equals just D divided by T. It's really like a one-step equation, except you're dealing with all letters instead of any numbers. Basically, the idea of it is to set yourself up so that you could just plug numbers in easier to either find the rate or the distance, whatever letter you have it solved for. Okay, next one. Let's say we're going to solve this for R again. Okay, well, we have 2 times pi times R, so everything's being multiplied, so we're going to divide again. And if we divide by 2 pi, that's going to cancel out the 2 and the pi. We'd also have to divide by 2 pi on this side. So all we're left with is C over 2 pi equals R. So this would be used, for example, is if we have a circle and we're trying to find the radius of the circle and we know the circumference. Okay, we always know what pi is. It's 3.14. So if we were given the circumference and we wanted to find the radius, this is what we would do. We would set the equation up like this. So all we had to do was plug C in and divide it by 2 times pi. All right. Our next one here is perimeter. Okay, so P equals 2 times length plus 2 times the width. Okay, this is finding perimeter of some sort of object. So let's say that we want to solve it for, let's go with L. Okay, if we want to solve for L, that means that the problem we were given gave us the perimeter of a figure and W, so we want to figure out what L is. So let's think about this right here as one whole quantity. Okay, well, if we think about the equation, let's say 5 equals 2x plus 3 for a second, we would subtract 3 first, okay, and then divide by 2. Well, in this case, it's really the same thing. We're going to subtract the 2w first. That's going to cancel those out. Alright, so now on the left side of the equal sign, I just have P minus 2w and then equals 2L. Because I obviously can't subtract 2w from P. It does not work. Now I want to get rid of that 2 in front of the L, so I'm going to divide by 2. So my answer would just be L equals P minus 2w over 2. Alright, and then finally we have an area formula. This would actually be area of a triangle. So if we were given, let's say, the area and the base, and we want to find the height. So we're going to solve for H this time. You're always going to be given which one you solve for. I'm giving it to you here. Okay, so if we want to solve for H, the first thing we're going to want to do is get rid of this fraction. So remember, to get rid of fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. So multiply by 2 over 1, or just by 2. So I'm going to multiply by 2 on this side. Well, that gives me 2a equals, these will cancel out because I multiply by the reciprocal, b times h. And now since b is being multiplied by h, I'm going to divide by b. So your answer then, those cancel out, would just be h equals 2a over B. Okay, so there are 4 examples of literal equations right there. Alright, you may also see some word problems where you have to deal with them. So what is the radius of a circle with circumference of 22 meters? Okay, well, first of all, you want to set up your equation. Now, remember I told you that circumference is equal to 2 times pi times radius. Well, in this equation, we have circumference, which is C, is equal to 22. We know that pi is 3.14, and we obviously know the 2, so we're trying to find r. So 22 is equal to 2 times pi times radius. Well, remember how we solved for r before? We divided by 2 pi, so we're going to divide by 2 pi again. So in your calculators, okay, this is very important. You want to divide by them separately, or you need to either put this part in parentheses in your calculator. What I like to do is just say 22 divided by 3.14, hit enter, and then divide by 2 and hit enter again. So when you do that, you're going to get R is equal to 3.5. And where meters is our label. So what I would do is actually try and plug this into your calculator, make sure you are doing it correctly, because otherwise you just want to make sure you can get the right answer in your calculator. You can also use the pi button on your calculator, which I will show you later if you don't know where it is already. Okay, a rectangle has a perimeter of 84 centimeters and a length of 35 centimeters. What is its width? So remember, we have P equals 2L plus 2W. So we want to find the width, so this is the one we're missing. So we should know P and L. Well, perimeter is 84, so 84 equals 2 times the length of 35 plus 2W. Okay, well, let's multiply 2 times 35. That gives me 70. And we should all know how to solve this from here. So minus 70. So we get 14 equals 2W. Divide by 2. And 7 equals W. So the width is going to be 7 centimeters. Okay, so really this one is just knowing the equation, which you will be given on the test. Plug the numbers in. So the only 2 numbers you needed to plug in was 35 and 84. 35 for the length, 84 for the perimeter, and then solve from there. It's just a 2-step equation. Alright, your fun fact for the day. Did you know that the human heart creates enough pressure when it pumps out to the body to squirt blood 30 feet? Alright, and your last word problem here. You will see one like this, just like this on your test, so make sure you understand how to do this one. Okay, so we're going to use the formula here. Density equals mass divided by volume. Okay, this is something that you'll see in your science class this year. Okay, where M is the object's mass and V is the volume. That's what we just said. Gold has a density, so D, of 19.3. So 19.3 is our D, equal to the volume of gold. What is the volume of gold if it has a mass of 96.5? So mass of 96.5, M goes on top, V on the bottom. Okay, this one's a little bit trickier to solve. We can't just multiply by 96.5. If we do that, that's not going to cancel out the V. So I'm actually going to multiply by V on both sides to cancel that one out on the bottom. That gives me 19.3 V equals 96.5. Divide by 19.3. So 96.5 divided by 19.3 gives you V is equal to 5, and we'll say centimeters cubed for the volume. And there's your answer. Okay. Go back and rewatch any of these problems that you need to, but that is your video on literal equations. We will see you later.